Fantastic, everyone. Now that you have got an initial glimpse of what this session is all about, prepare yourselves for an exploration of three of the most prominent softwares. Now, when it comes to softwares, I hope that all of you, our audience, knows some of the three, what are the three main softwares that are there, that are demanding in the world today. So if you can drop a message as to, if you are there any guesses, you can drop us a message as to what these softwares are. All right. So we are going to have a look at Xero, we're going to have a look at QuickBooks, and we're going to have a look at MYOB, three of the highly demanding softwares. And in terms of looking at these softwares, I'm going to start with payroll, right, which is an integral part of accounting. Now, in introducing our resource personnel, first we have the expert of payroll, none other than 𝐷𝐸𝐿. We have Hashini, who is one of our senior accountants, and we have Situm Kuruvita, and we have Shamila joining us from Negombo. All of them are senior accounting professionals with a vast experience working for both small and large, medium-scale conglomerates. Right. So now that we have passed the introductory stage, let's get right to it. So once again, coming back to payroll management, Amna, we know that you are an expert in this, and as the participants are waiting to see some functionalities of accounting systems, I'm sure you know the best way in terms of demonstrating what this is all about. You have in terms of how things are done in Xero.
Thank you, Daniel. So let me now start. So right before I start, very small heads up, I'm going to be covering the accounts payable section in Xero. And something small that I want to tell is I'm going to assume that all of you are coming from an accounting background, and I'll be using a lot of accounting terms, and I hope all of you are familiar with it. So let's get started. Okay, I hope all of you can see my screen. So in accounts payable, I'll be taking you through how we can create a bill in Xero. But right before I do that, let me quickly give you a walkthrough into the system itself. So the very first thing that you see as soon as you land on Xero is the dashboard. This is simply an overview of the entire business. You're going to see bank accounts, and you're going to see expenses that you want to see here. And you're going to also see some ratios, and you can also customize this page. And then we have the business tab. So here's where you're going to see all of your bills, your invoices, your purchase orders, codes, all of the bookkeeping records are going to go in here. And then we have the accounting. So it's a world of reports. You're going to see the P&L, the balance sheet, and so many reports to explore, which you will see later in the session. And you will also have the payroll tab and the contacts tab. So now let me jump back to the accounts payable part, which is under business, and then we have the bills to pay. Right. So now that we are in the bills page, hold on. Let me get that back. Okay, there seems to be a slight technical issue. Bear with me for a few more seconds. All right, so we're back to Xero. Xero seems to be taking its own time. Okay. Awesome. So now that we are in Xero, let me jump back to the bills section. So let me go to business and bills to pay. So as you can see, there's so many other options for us to explore, but we are looking at a very smaller one today, just for the demonstration purpose. And then once you land onto the bills page, you would see the bills tray. So you're going to see all of the bills here. And you could also see sections such as awaiting approval, awaiting payments. That is if you want to dig onto it. So let me start by creating a bill. So I already have one for you today. Okay. All right. Just bear with me. Let me open this up here for you. Right. There I go. We have the bill. Awesome. So you can see the bill right here. So this is the bill, and we can see the date, the invoice number, and we can also see it is from the supplier Sunnyside and their details, and it is invoiced to us. So we are demo in this case, and we have the description and all of the other details that we need. Right. So how are we going to enter this bill in Xero? So let me jump back to Xero. All right. So now I'll start by entering the contact. So let me go to all contacts and then start by creating a new contact. So I'll go back to the bill so I can get the name of the supplier. Right. So here we have the name of the supplier. And then I can also enter in the first name, the last name, email address. If I can enter that, that will be great. And I can also address the phone number if I have it. So let me go back to the bill, enter the phone number. I could enter the ABN and will also enter the address from the bill. All I have to do is just copy the street and Xero will automatically capture the address for me. Right. Let me scroll to the right bottom. All right, so I can go to purchase defaults. So since I'm entering a supplier, I can choose the default purchase account, the due date. So there's so much to play around, but for now, we'll get the contact entered. Right, so we already have the contact. We'll start to create the bill. Go back to the same business tab, business and bills to pay. We'll land on the bills tray again. Now, go to new bill and search for the supplier. Okay. So normally it would prompt the supplier right here. But I think Xero is a little lazy today. So what we'll get to doing is I'll upload the bill in the meanwhile. So I dragged and dropped it. So normally I can prompt it here, but for now, I'm skipping that part. And I'll have the bill open with me side by side. So I don't have to go back to the other tab again. I have the date here. Right, and then I can also enter the due date. Once that is done, I will also enter the reference number 154,847. Right, and I'll also copy in the description. It's repair laptops for 250. Let me pull this to the side. It's 250. It's repair expense. Now that I've chosen the repair expense, I'll pull the bill here. Okay, so it's 250. Let me enter that. Right. So I'll see if the total matches. It's 275. So it's a little play around with the GST. I will adjust the GST figure here. If you properly look into the bill, you have the answer. It has the GST excluded price there. So approved. And tada, the bill is entered. So there we have the bill. And now, if you want, you can go back and search for the bill in the bill tray. So let me copy the bill number, or I can search by the contact name. So I'll go back to the bill tray. Once I'm in the bill tray, I'm going to search for the bill number. And I can see the bill that is entered. And there you go. So it's such a very simple and user-friendly system. That's the beauty of the system. All it takes is a few clicks and a very easy, simple step to enter the bill. And that is how Xero works. And let me pass over back to Daniel.
Thank you very much, Amna, for that insightful demonstration. Right, thank you very much, Amna, for that insightful demonstration. And talk about, technology being automated. I mean, it's really advanced right now, and it makes things much more smoother and much more flexible for the modern day accountant. Coming back to what you told me, what you demonstrated, Amna, I couldn't help but noticing ABA, Amna. I mean, I'm just asking out of curiosity, what is an ABA? Because, in a country like Sri Lanka, this is the terminology that we hardly have heard of.
Right, Daniel. So ABA stands for Australian Banking Association. It is simply a file format that is used by the Australian banking system. So what we have to do is upload the ABA file into the banking system, and there you go. You could pay 1 or 100 bills all together at one go. So, and have you also heard, Daniel, in in Australia, you don't you don't really have to enter the bills. You don't really have to get the physical bill. It lands directly to the accounts payable. Do you have an idea of how that works?
I think there should be a different way to get it across to your bank's fees.
Yeah, Daniel, that's right. So you don't see bills in Australia to a great extent, or even invoices come in physical form. You see them as virtual copies that fall into your email box. And you also have systems that will directly connect to your Xero or your MYOB and get it across in. So if you give me a chance, I can show you how that works.
Sure.
right? I hope you can see my screen. So if you see here, so you have systems like HubDoc and DEX, so which can make it really easy for you. So if it is integrated into Xero, all you have to do is scan the bill, maybe from your phone, whatever is easy, and it directly lands into your inbox, or in back of the best part is lands into Xero. And that's just a few clicks away.
Quite interesting, I should say. Yeah. I mean, it makes, as I said, it makes things much more efficient. Even I personally learned a lot, and I'm actually shocked as to what these can do. So now when it comes to softwares, actually, I hope our audience have got somewhat of an insight as to what you need to know in terms of landing a prospective career in Australia. Or if you want to work remotely for an Australian company as well. So now that you have got some insights on how the supplier bills, are being paid and managed by businesses, coming back to another integral component of accounting, which is the accounts receivable. So we previously looked at the accounts payable, one side of it, and we are now going to have a look at the other side, which is the accounts receivable, how things are done from the receiving end. So we are going to have use another prominent software, a different one, yet no different from Xero, because it has equal prominence when it comes to a global context. And we have an equally prominent key resource personnel to do it. So what I have experienced in Australia is accounts receivable management too plays an important role in the day-to-day activities of both small and medium scale conglomerates. And it helps, it is indeed a vital factor to consider when it comes to more advanced complexities. So Shamila will take us through QuickBooks, mainly how to do the accounts receivable management. Shamila, are you there?
Sure, Daniel. Okay, so let me share my screen first so you can see. Hope you can see my screen. Okay, so once we log into the QB software, this is how we can see the dashboard in there. In QB, like Xero also, it has the same kind of features in here. So let's start. Now the topic is accounts receivable. Let's go and start doing that. So do the accounts receivable. First, we need to create the customer in the system. So let's see how we can create the customer in the system first, and then let's move into the invoice part. Okay, I'm going to sales tab because there are several tabs in the left side where we can see different features there. And I'm going inside the sales and I'm going to create the customer first. Okay, from here you can create a new customer. To create the new customer, at least you need to include the basic information, including the name, contact number, and the email. Because like Amna said before, even from QB, we can directly email the invoice for clients. So for that, we need to include email addresses, those information there. So I'm start entering a customer here. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so I have entered the basic information there. Other than the basic information, you can enter any available information in here. You can see that, including the address, everything in here. So for the moment, I have included only the basic information. Now I'm going to create the contact there. Okay, once we created the customer, it's appear like this with the basic information. Then let's move to create the invoice. For that also, we need to use this sales tab. And invoices. From here, you can create a new invoice. Okay. So now we have already created the customer. So now we are going to invoice for that customer. So I'm searching my customer there. Okay, it's here. Once I click the customer name, you can see that the other informations are automatically appearing here. If I have entered the address also appearing in here. So the terms we can discuss with the customer, and then we can put the dates accordingly. Now I'm selecting today's date as the invoice date. And since we have put the term as 30 days, it automatically pick the due date. And in invoicing, you always get the invoice number automatically according to QB. So let's go and fill how to input information. To raise the invoice, we need to select an account to invoice against. Because this is a sale, I'm going to select the general sales account for this. So this is the accounts we have in our Xero. And I'm going to select sales account. Because this is my general sale, it's a general sale. So I'm selecting the sales account, and we can input any description there. So let me say it's general sales, and okay, let's say the quantity is 2 and the value is 50. If I click on the side, it will automatically take the total value. In here, in this GST, you can select whatever the tax code apply for that particular sale, because in some sales we can put tax, but for some sales it can be tax-free. So we can discuss this information later on once we get into the course. So, and further, if you need different lines, you can add the lines from here and add the informations. Okay. Now I'm going to save this. Save. Okay, the invoice has saved. Okay, now it's in the system. Let's go and see how we can see this invoice in our reports. Now we have the invoice. Let's go to the reports tab. And in reports, we have different subheadings there. I'm going to the accounts receivable subheading there, and accounts receivable aging summary. If I run this report, and let me take it for today's date, let's see whether we can see the invoice that we just entered. It's there. So, sorry, it's there. Yeah. So like this, you can create the customer, enter the invoice, then you can get that into the accounts receivable reports. So that's how we, basically manage accounts receivable in QB. We can go through in detail in later once you join with us for the course. Over to you, Daniel.
Create supplier bills and how we issue the invoices to our customers. Situ, if you don't mind me asking, could you assist me by showing how the payments and receipts are going to, appear in the bank statements? I mean, how are we going to record these in our ledgers, Situ?
Can you hear me?
Yep, you can.
First of all, thank you, Daniel, for inviting great session today. So it's a quite interesting session. So can I ask same question from you, Daniel. Do you think in Australian context, we are going to record the bank transaction manually? Hello, Daniel. We can't hear you.
Hello. Hi. So I think there should be a different way of getting the bank transactions to accounting software, Sidhu.
Exactly correct, Daniel. Because in Sri Lankan context, you know that most of the transaction we are doing manually, right? But when it comes to the Australian context, it's a different manner, right? Very easy manner we are doing. So I am not sure whether Sri Lankan heard that the word bank fees, right? So in Australian context, bank accounts linked to the accounting software, each accounting software, so then we can easily allocate the bank transactions to the relevant GL account. So right, so now I will show you how to work the bank feed in MYOB accounting software. So let me share my screen first. I hope you all can see my screen now. So here the MYOB essential dashboard, right? So I'm not going to discuss about this each tabs because I'm now already briefed these tabs. So I'm going to here banking tab, right? So when it comes to banking and bank transaction, so this is this is kind of a bank statement, right? E-bank statement, which is similar to the in Sri Lankan context. So this is called bank feeds. Okay. So here you can see we can select a bank account, right? In our system we have only one bank account. So I will select this bank account, and we can see here, you know that there are three type of status. One is all transaction, unallocated and allocated transaction, right? So we can filter according to our requirement. So for the moment, I will select unallocated transaction. So I will show you how to allocate unallocated transaction to the GL code. So here we can select whatever date range you need to process the transaction. So I'm selecting the date like this. So here you can see these are the bank statement, right? So bank statement is similar to the bank feed. So this is the bank feeds we have. So here you can see one transaction called Facebook, right? So that particular transaction relating to the advertising and marketing expense. So here $29 that we can allocate to advertising and marketing account directly. Very simple way. So here you can see there is an option called allocate me. Right here I can select advertising and marketing, right? It's automatically appearing in the account. Very simple. So if you want to change the GST code, you can change the GST here itself. So whatever the GST code you will get from the list, and you can select here and save, right? Otherwise, you can enter the account easy way right here. So this is a Dropbox. I will get another example. Dropbox is a subscription. So I will select subscription here. Just click on and save. So that's how you can easy way to record the transaction in bank feeds in Australian context. So here we can see there are two sides, right? Withdrawal and deposit. You know that withdrawal is we are paying the money. Deposit in the sense we receive the money. So this transaction is our sales, so we can use the sales account. Just click on the sales account, and it's recorded in the GLA. So that's how we can use the bank feed very easy manner. So thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much once again, Sidhu, for that elaborate demonstration. I'm pretty sure it is no surprise that the audience indeed salvaged what they need to get, basically an insight. And coming to which, this is just once again just an insight, or if not, should I say, it's just a mango minimum of what you can expect from our courses. And our next intake is commencing coming 22nd of this month. And I hope you're excited to go on this journey. Again, this is just a tiny fragment of what you can expect from the course. Now coming back in the context of payroll management, this time of an Australian perspective. So we have Hashini with us here today, and she is one of our most senior accountants in the industry. So Hashini, does the payroll management come under the accountant scope? Because I have heard about this, since in a country like Sri Lanka, they say payroll management is done by the HR division.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Daniel, for inviting me for this webinar. I hope all of y'all are getting a good scope of the Australian accounting softwares and everything. So to answer your question, Daniel, yes, so in Sri Lanka, we have a separate HR department handling the payroll, but in Australia, it's a complete different scenario. Mostly accountants will be handling the payroll. So if you are planning to be an Australian accountant, it's essential that you know the payroll taxes, payroll processing, and payroll laws. So all these softwares, be it Xero, QB, or MYOB, all these softwares have the payroll processing part in the software. So that is all about payroll. So if you are going to become an accountant in Australia, it is essential that you know how to process a payroll.
All right. That is really great. Thank you very much for that insightful session. What do you call?
Hashini.
Hashini, yeah. Sorry about that. So yeah, when it comes to the overall, the learning journey, we ensure that all these softwares are covered in depth. But from us to each of our students, we give you access completely during the duration of the course, where you can practice extensively on these softwares itself in order to become more competent, both in the accounting industry, both in your professional and your personal journey as well. Right. Coming back to what, Hashini, said, it is time. I mean, I feel personally, I would like to see it in a practical context. So if you don't mind, Amna, would you be able to show how this is done in the accounting softwares in Xero and QuickBooks?
Yeah, Daniel, sure. So let me log back to Xero again. I hope you can see my screen. So since we're running out of time, I'm going to keep it short. I'll give you a very brief overview. So just like Hashini said, we have payroll integrated in the software itself. So we have the payroll tab with a lot of functionalities. So you have the overview, which is a summary of the pay run and all of the payroll related information. Then we have the employees option under that, which will allow you to enter a new employee. And if you want to see information of when they started or any information of employee, you can go back to the employees tab. And then you have the leave, the timesheet, pay employees, in which you can process the payroll and also send the pay slip right to the employee's email. And also you have the superannuation, which is a compliance related payment for when paying employees in Australia. Yeah, so that's about a run through of the payroll. Back to you, Daniel.
Great. So now I think now that we have covered most of the aspects on the transactional level of accounting, coming back to Hashini, what is the final outcome of all what we do, Hashini? I mean, there has to be something. What is the overall, what is the aim? What is the ultimatum?
Yes, Daniel, good question. So ultimatum of all these, so doing the finances, the payrolls, everything lead us to taking decisions. To take decisions, we need so many reports. So if we have our finances manually, we'll have to do all the reports manually by hand. But the beauty of these softwares are all these reports could be generated just in one click. Even if you are an accountant, be it a CFO or anyone would need reports. So all your daily operational reports could be generated from all these softwares just in single click, as I said before. So Daniel, we have so many experts here. I think we can get one of your experts to show us some of the reports in one of these systems.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Who's up for it? Shamila, would you like to do the honors?
Yeah, sure. Let me show you how in QB the reports. Here. Hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, from these tabs, I'm going for the reports tab. So here we can see all the available reports there. In favorites, you can mark whatever the reports you use frequently, you can mark it as star and you can see every favorite reports in here. And we have different type of reports under different subheadings. The general business overview reports there, like we used before, the accounts receivable related reports, and all the sales and the customer information related reports, because from these reports we can generate a number of information in a single report. So there are various type of reports in here related to accounts payable, payroll, and then let me show you this one. This is related to the compliance of the Australian context, so you can generate all those reports from here. So likewise, you can have different type of reports under different headings, and QB has facilitated you to customize reports according to the way you want. So in QB, you have that feature as well. So this is how the reports work in QB. Hope it's clear.
Yes, of course, Shamila. Thank you very much once again for shedding a great amount of light in that context. So I'm sure our audience have by now obtained a crystal clear idea of what all of you need to know, and the seriousness of this subject if you are to migrate to Australia and find that first job in Australia, or else even working as a freelancer or working for global conglomerates from the comfort of your own home and earning in the Australian dollar. We have a small surprise lined up for you now, and this is none other than giving you a sneak peek of our Brisca Education online learning portal, right? So what I'm about to do now, I expect our audience to follow, because as I said, there is a bit of a surprise. Let me share my screen, just give me a moment. So you have to go to our website. Okay, I think let me share it once again. All right. So first you have to go to our website, which is Brisca Education, BRISCA, short for education, .com. I repeat, it is BRISCA, Brisca edu.com. You have the option, as soon as you go into our website, you will get an interface like this. Basically, the registration, if you like, you can register, as you can just hit the close option. Here you will see this right here, which is the Learning Management System, the LMS. And here you get the courses, the list of courses that we have. Now, when it comes to the learning management system, first, in order to view any of the content, you need to get started by creating your own login, which is quite simple, I should say. So towards your topmost right-hand corner, as you can see, you just have to click the sign up, and then I'll be doing one for you just as a demo so that you guys can follow up. Right. So now we have come to the second step, which is basically providing an authentication. So I'll be choosing email in this context, and I will continue. Then you will be getting a code sent to the email which you have registered. I have it with me, so I will just look at it from my phone. So it says the two-factor authenticator code is an OTP basically, and it is only valid for 15 minutes, mind you, just 15 minutes. So you have to do it before that. So I'll be entering the OTP here. And I will proceed to verify the account. So basically, that's it. Email setup completed. As you can see, it is really, really quite simple. And now here's the surprise. Once you have created your account, you can get started on our free mini edition. So you can just click it. So there's some free content out there for you to have a look at. All of these are free, as you know, and these alone will greatly enhance your knowledge as well in terms of key Australian practices, basically about the BPO industry, how accounting is done in Australia. You can see all of this. So I won't be going into that since we are pressed for time. But I do have to tell you about the surprise, and this is the free live virtual workshop. So basically, this is a mini quiz. This you can access, and please, I invite all of our participants to, do this quiz to see where you stand as well in terms of the knowledge and understanding. And the first 10 participants who have successfully completed this quiz, they can send us a code which is completed BE quiz, completed BE quiz to our WhatsApp number, and the first 10 would get a flat out 25,000 discount on our courses. Okay, so for the first 10 participants who complete this successfully and sends us a message on WhatsApp, completed PE quiz will successfully be eligible to claim a flat out 25,000 discount on our courses. I hope that is clear. Right. So I will leave, I will leave all of you guys to work on the quiz by yourselves, and you can send us the code to our WhatsApp. With that, I believe we have come to an end in terms of our webinar. I hope that this webinar was quite useful to all those who participated. And I have to say a very big thank you to our audience and also to our resource personnel, Amna Amjad, Hashini, Puni, Situng, for being present with us despite all of their hectic schedules. We look forward to having each and every one of you, dear participants, in terms of following our course. And rest be assured, we will tailor your learning experience, your learning journey, based on your requirements with us, even if it means going the extra mile. With that, I'm sure you have, quite a lot of obligations coming up the rest of the weekend. So without further ado, let me wrap this session up. And thank you very much once again for attending our session. Have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.